7:36 AFL Premiership Cup ambassador. Here he is, Josh Kennedy with us this morning, buddy.
Hey, guys.
It's lovely to meet you. For people who don't know, your brother works in the building with us and is an absolutely stunning man.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful human being. If you're half the man that Zave is, you'll be a wonderful man too.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. I'm not sure I am, but
I've heard you are.
nice.
Yeah,
I've heard you are.
You're double the footballer.
Double, I would
At
say.
least, yeah.
Of course, there's a connection with William and your good self. William will be, of course, your future brother-in-law, which is very exciting.
Yes, very
Yeah.
exciting.
We're
Yep,
all
yep.
attending the wedding at the end of the
Yeah.
year.
It's
We'll
been
probably
a
talk
great
footy at
addition
the
to
wedding.
family,
Yeah.
although he's ruined our Monday night quick trivias because
He's so good.
he's so good.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
I
even
know.
get me started.
Don't start
Don't.
us on
No, no.
William
Really
and
annoying.
games.
At what point do you make him the host and ban him?
Very competitive.
That did happen
that
briefly.
did.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did happen
Good.
briefly.
We
But
made him
Zave's
the
not bad
host.
himself.
We had to make him the host of everything because he's just one of those blokes.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just one of those blokes. Now, before we talk about the AFL Premiership
Shit.
Premiership Cup ambassador role, let's just go through the hits. 290 AFL games for yourself, 277 at the Swans, 13 at the Hawks, just cheeky 13.
Yeah.
Keep the family name intact. 2012 Premiership player for Sydney. Played in 3 GFs, 14, 12, of course, and 16. 3 All-Australians, 3 Bob Skilton medals. Sydney captain from 17 to 21 and retired at the end of last year. At the end of
Last year.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus, has that been a whole
Yeah.
year?
Yeah, yeah. It's gone quick, hasn't it?
really has.
And then grand final day.
I
You
was
weren't-
there, but I was injured.
you
I
weren't-
missed a lot of last year through injury.
That's
Oh,
right.
Yeah, that's right.
You had the bump over on the sideline.
yeah.
Your last
got
act in
the
footy,
last
it's-
game and got
Last
booed off
game.
the
That's
Marvel
right.
Stadium.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Booed off by the Carlton Ferals.
Okay,
That was
hang on.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
I'm actually
heartbreaking.
working with one now. Darren, Daz. He was there,
Daz,
giving
if
it to
you're
me.
listening.
Yeah, tragic Carlton man. He doesn't know anything about footy though.
Phenomenal career,
Oh,
just
thank you.
quietly. Congratulations. Wonderful career. At a wonderful club, it has to be said.
Yeah, no, very lucky to have got the call up to Sydney back at the end of 2009, and yeah, very fortunate to have a long career, which really comes down to a lot of support with the people around you and a bit of luck too on the injury front.
Well, you must have been well looked after because you were in the midfield getting bashed from one end of the paddock to the other for the better part of, 12, 13, 14 years?
Yeah, no, he's very much looked after by.
They
as I
must have
said,
some good rehab and some
good rehab and good teammates too that always looked after me. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
For an ex-player, when you get to this time of the year and it's grand final week, you've been in a few yourself. Does it start? Is there any part of you that thinks the boots could come out of the cupboard and you could get your head over it again?
Yeah, it hasn't happened to me too much in the last 12 months, but it has a couple of times. And this week's certainly one of those, especially when I first got the hands on the cup again. I was like, gee, I wouldn't mind lacing them up one more time.
One more time.
Yeah.
Get really
So,
angry.
Yeah,
We were
it
talking
does.
off air about the mental adjustment when you don't have to play a collision sport for 25, 26 weeks of the year, because to me that would be the bit that would just be my undoing on a Tuesday night laying in bed thinking I'm playing against Joe Bloggs, who I know is as tough as a nut, and we're going to go toe-to-toe. Are you glad that at least that part of it is over for you?
Yeah, I think that mental engagement on a week-to-week basis and just the highs and lows and always conscious of a game coming up or training and wary of what you're doing, whether it's what you're eating, drinking, too much time on your feet, all that sort of stuff, that sort of level of anxiety that just sits with you all the time. I'm glad that's not there, but on the same time, that sort of competitiveness and that feeling of going out there and knowing you're playing against Joe Blow or whoever it is, and you're competing, that element I actually miss too, because that's what you
that's
play.
in you. That's the DNA that just wants to go head to head and win.
Correct. Yeah.
It's a big hole to fill, isn't it? That and the camaraderie of clubland, I would imagine, are the two things where you're sort of wandering around going, well, you can only play so much golf.
Yeah.
Before you haven't got 40 blokes around you doing gags all day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, you've summed it up pretty well. They're pretty hard to replicate once you finish.
And you've saved yourself with social basketball.
Wednesday night basketball, team the cage.
You've found your outlet later in life.
Division
it turns
D.
out
Yeah.
it's Division D men's b-ball.
I've been at the house on a Friday and he's looking up stats from Wednesday night.
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm the captain coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not enough threes this week.
But
I played a bit of social basketball. It's good fun.
it is a lot
played
of fun.
It 30 years ago.
It is a lot of fun.
It is
Love
fun, isn't it? There's always a couple of blokes on the other side who are hard at it.
Yeah, take it pretty seriously. But it's
What's your
unfortunate-
strength?
My strength.
Yeah, taking it to the hole.
Oh, gee, I'd say I'm just okay at most of the aspects, but
Your 3-point goal?
master at none.
Pull up and shoot.
I do, but not, very rarely.
Fade
go
away,
in.
man.
Yeah.
Can you
Leadership.
dump from the free throw line?
Yeah, leadership.
don't-
Seriously.
Attitude and energy.
Your strongest attribute.
Here we go. Let's talk about the AFL Cup. Weighs approximately 5.5 kilos, which I thought it was quite heavy, but you didn't think it was
Yeah.
heavy,
I
Loz?
expected it to be
I reckon-
heavier.
I want to fact check that. Actually, I think it's a little bit heavier.
Do we have scales?
Well,
No.
we don't have
No.
scales
We don't
in
have
here.
scales.
Too
Scales
many
are-
people counting calories for
Oh,
scales.
absolutely.
Yes, don't want a
Dangerous.
reminder.
It's made of brass, silver, and the oak leaves on it are 24-karat gold.
Plated.
Good. Plated. Okay.
Yeah, plated.
Diminishing.
Just
very
important. That was on
Gotta be
Wednesday's
clear.
stats sheet. It's going to Yarra Park for 4 days of fun. Are you part of the 4 days of fun at Yarra Park?
I'll be pinch hitting at Yarra Park. Yes.
Yeah, wow.
There's a live site, free entertainment for the whole family, player appearances, giveaways, music and food. 20 years since Collingwood and Brisbane faced off in the 2003 grand final. It's going to be a big day. Craig McRae, of course, won the flag for Brisbane against Collingwood in 2003. And who has the reunion? Brownie was saying that Brisbane have got the 20-year reunion on the Sunday.
They've got one, I think, tonight and Friday night at the Royal Derby in Fitzroy. Martin Pike and Co. So it's a
What's a 4-day event? Is it?
Oh, they had to keep making
not bad.
more because they kept
Hey?
selling out.
Yeah, right.
Can I provide 2 quick stats about
Please.
Josh's finals record? Because I
Please
think
do.
it gets lost in the modern players. So, of all the players since '99 when they've started recording contested possessions,
Yeah.
in finals, you've got Chris Judd, Nat Fyfe, and Joel Selwood, who have had 7 games of 15 or more contested possessions.
Yeah.
Dangerfield had 10.
Yeah.
In Josh's career, he had 16.
Oh, my
wow.
God.
Never didn't turn up to a final. And then in grand finals, you average 30 disposals and 2 goals. You average that in 3 grand finals. So it's
That's phenomenal.
You're making him uncomfortable.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
very
I
embarrassing.
You do
appreciate that, but
seem
it
very
has to be
humble.
said. Hey?
What was the mental process for you in a week like this? What were you thinking? Because I always imagine people play the game Tuesday, then they play a bit of it Wednesday, then they play it by the time they get out there Saturday, they're exhausted.
Yeah, no, I always enjoyed the week and the build-up and everything that came with it.
Was there a
especially-
low-level hum, and did that hum just continue to rise?
Yeah, correct. And especially from an interstate club, and Brisbane would be the same, where you're not AFL football isn't the primary sport in that state. So, Collingwood would be used to thousands of fans coming to training for a Carlton-Collingwood game in a regular season. But Brisbane, it was the same with us in 2012. Wouldn't be used to that. So, and you don't get 1,000 fans to training unless it's grand final week. So that sort of energy and build up, you start to feel that, and as you said, it just grows and grows and grows throughout the week. Coming down to Melbourne, they'll do the parade tomorrow, and you just see the joy and what it means to people with all the fans that turn out. And I think they'll be surprised by how many Lions fans come out to support them tomorrow and Saturday. So yeah, my mindset was just always, I just loved the build up as a young kid. That's what you dream of being part of.
Were you a nervous footballer?
Um,
Were you a pre-game sort of vomiter, perhaps?
no,
No sleep the night before,
Yeah,
guy.
2016.
Yeah, 26. There was for the back end of my career, I struggled a little bit to sleep the night before, but early on not so much. So I was a bit anxious the morning of, but
Would you put
Not
that
too
down to
bad.
meth? The meth you were using at the time?
Hey, that was in confidence.
Oh, sorry. I should have probably mentioned that.
No.
That is why you cut all your hair off.
yeah, that's right.
Just mucking around. Anything you want to talk about before the cup leaves the studio, Josh?
up to you guys.
You got a tip?
A tip.
Oh,
My
yeah.
tip.
Yes.
My tip is, look, I think it'd be an awesome game, but I think Brisbane's form coming into the game is a little bit better. So I think they'll break the MCG hoodoo. But Collingwood just continue to find ways of
Don't
winning.
they?
So
Phenomenal year
Very
they've had.
fair answer.
They've found
I
their
tip
way into
Brisbane.
the
There you
GF. If you're interested, fans can visit afl.com.au/footy festival for the full list of activations around the Cup. It's so lovely to meet you.
fun.
See you in
Thanks,
December.
Marty.
Yeah. Josh Kennedy with us this morning.